Okay, stop. I think that's close enough. I think we need to start setting some boundaries. Welcome everybody, and in today's book review we are looking at Set Boundaries, Find Peace, A Guide to Reclaiming Yourself by Nedra Glover Tawwab. It is an amazing book and there are some really great benefits to reading it, especially if you, like me, don't really know how to set boundaries very well. Chapter 1 is all about how to set boundaries, understanding what they are, and it uses the example of a toxic relationship, toxic friendship, and how to avoid those and how to move away from those in order to be able to improve. Chapter 2 is all about discovering your boundary style so that you can actually start taking those first steps towards setting those boundaries and getting back your peace, because not setting boundaries can create some really difficult challenges for you. Chapter 3 gives you all the tools that you need. So you create your boundary toolkit in order to be able to deal with boundaries in different ways. So it's going to help you with family boundaries. It's going to help you with work boundaries, and to be able to tell the difference between one and the other. In chapter 4, she talks about the relationship boundaries and goes in a little bit more specifically into those. And so she talks about how she set boundaries with her husband and was able to improve her communication by working on this important part of her life. In chapter 5, she then breaks it out into family and how it works with family as opposed to your intimate relationships, and how to set boundaries with family members, which is a completely different dynamic. And in chapter 6, the all-important boundaries at work. Work is a place where we often allow our boundaries free rein and completely remove them from our lives because we feel that we have all these pressures and things that we need to do, regardless of what we think is good for ourselves. And so this is a very important chapter for being able to deal with all of the pressures at work. Chapter 7 is an interesting one. It talks about how to set boundaries for yourself. Even more than work, we negate ourselves when it comes to setting boundaries for ourselves. And in this chapter, it talks about your behavior and how you can set boundaries around your own behavior in order to improve your mental health and your well-being, all of those different things, and how to use your self-talk to get the greatest results. In chapter 8, being navigating difficult conversations. There is one thing that people find challenging, and I know that I have definitely suffered from this myself in the past. Difficult conversations, if one person is a little bit more dominant, this is where you're able to use your boundaries in order to be able to get a leg up in your life. Very, very important. And so she talks about in this chapter how to keep your emotions in check and how to use those to your advantage. So definitely something that a lot of people who struggle with their communication are going to get some really great benefits when they're in a conversation with somebody that is really challenging to them. And I know that we all have this from time to time. Chapter 9, the benefits of boundaries. So she talks about how to have a more fulfilling and satisfying life by having boundaries and the importance of these boundaries. So in summary, it's a practical guide on how to understand what boundaries are, how to set those boundaries, how to get the right toolkit in order to be able to set boundaries in a way that you are protecting yourself without smothering yourself, but in a way that you're going to be able to have a much richer, more fulfilled and happier life, because you know where you stand and you're able to move forward through some of the challenges where otherwise we crawl up into our shells. So amazing book. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 stars and highly recommend you read. Get the link below and get the book for yourself. Make sure you read it and you will see a vast improvement in your life. And remember, to make the switch to unlock your rich, there is a faster and more effective way to doing everything, and it will help you to achieve your goals.